Hi, I'm Kerry Haynes from TaipanXP. This is part one of a two-part series that we're going to do on our new 200 series. As many of you would be unaware of the creative process that goes into analysing, testing and upgrading a new vehicle, I thought we could start from the top and address the issues. Standard 200 series, it really suffers from heat soak. The biggest cause of it most of the time is when our towers go putting on bull bars, spotlights, light bars. This is where the air is grabbed, flows under the bonnet on top of the intercooler. So when you restrict that airflow, effectively your intercooler loses all efficiency. So our remedy to that is to put a larger intercooler on there with the bonnet scoop. So it doesn't matter how much aftermarket stuff you put on the front here, we're not relying on the air through the grill anymore, we're grabbing it. Okay, so we come to the air intake side of it now on the 200 series. The standard way they get air in is absolutely ridiculous, trying to pull it out from underneath the guard. So what we do is we suggest snorkels, and I know a lot of people out there hate the thought of putting a snorkel on their 200 series, but I can tell you it's worth the effort. Getting cold air in for this big motor is essential. We run a K&N in ours. We wouldn't use it on bull dust and out in the dusty environment. We'd go back to a standard filter. K&Ns are fine. Obviously there's a lot of conjecture about running K&Ns in vehicles, and I hear it in the four-wheel drive industry, but I don't hear it in the car industry where it's been done for years. At the end of the day, the oil in this filter will not harm an airflow meter. Go to K&N's website, they've got a full blow on there to help you out and understand that. So don't be afraid to use it, but use your common sense. When you're going off-road, in bull dust, put your standard filter back in there, and that'll give you that extra safety. When you're on the bitumen, swap it back over. Okay, so we come to the catch can now, the all air separator as it's known. This is basically to grab all the oil and fumes and vapours from the crankcase, which is here on the motor. So when your vehicle's actually out there performing towing, and especially towing or hard work, it's creating more boost, and in turn more boost creates more crankcase pressure. So effectively the oil goes into this second hose down the bottom here, it's forced to the bottom, it has to filter its way back through a filter. There's a cavity at the top, that cavity is for the clean air to be plumbed back into the air intake. In standard form it goes from the crankcase collection box here straight back into your air intake, so the poor old motor's having to have all that oil forced back into it. So by putting this in there, we're stopping a lot of damage to the motor. At Taipan we've got two positions for this. Everyone goes for this spot up here, so we've got the second spot we can put it underneath the bull bar with a different kit. Yeah, everyone wants to go for this spot. Chip companies, secondary fuel filters, so we do have another option if someone still wants to run the can. Okay, so with the 200 series I wanted to protect the automatic transmission. So wholesale automatics was my port of call. So what we've done is put the bigger valve body in, the lockup kit, and also the temperature gauge. I want to protect the transmission because we're going to be putting so much power through this vehicle. Also we're towing a large trailer with all our show stuff in it. So it's a suggestion, if you've got the budget, it's really worthwhile doing it. The difference from driving it standard to after the valve body was fitted was totally different. It was like jumping into an Audi. Smoother changes, everything they said, definitely noticed it. And we pay just like any of you consumers out here for this product we put in. So think about it. Okay, so we're going to put in a water detector. Obviously we don't want water getting into our fuel rail or our pump. I want to elaborate on this a little bit more down the track. So what are we going to use is this particular product here. has an alarm, has a buzzer, so that it can get our attention when water enters into our diesel. So this will be mounted over here on the driver's side, and there's a reason for that. I want to have enough time to be able to shut down the car before it hits the main filter, which is on the other side. And secondly, everyone goes for the corner on the passenger side and fills it up. There's enough room to put this product on the driver's side here, and also it makes it more efficient for us to be able to shut the vehicle down when we detect water in there. So we chose a Kmart rear bar for the 200 series. We've got to carry 2 wheels. We do some big trips, obviously Nullarbor. We wanted to carry that extra wheel. 20-inch wheels aren't easy to come across in tyres, so we've gone for the Kmart to accommodate that. It's a very professional bar. It actually looks good and actually works well, so that's why we've gone with the Kmart bar. We've had a lot of inquiry on the Rhino 4x4 bar that we've put on. It's available out of Melbourne. If you contact Ben from Rhino 4x4 Australia, he'll certainly help you out. Okay, so we'll put our 3-inch system on. We replaced the standard dump pipes from Toyota. They're very restrictive. They're only about 1.75 inches. They've actually got domes in them where obviously mechanics need to get to bolts. A lot of blue spots in there showing restriction. So we move down to the engine pipes. They basically have about a 50mm actual engine pipe on them, which has got a cover over it to keep the noise down, so it actually looks bigger than what it is on the driver's side. They come back through to the back here, and they actually hang down in this area here, the standard factory ones. So we've made sure our system sits up high. Obviously we designed the system to get up high, so we've gone the 2 3-inch engine pipes, and they go into a 3.5-inch. The Vortex Muffler is what Taipan is known for, but unfortunately a lot of people out in the marketplace think we've just got an exhaust like all of the other competitors. We're the only ones out in the marketplace that actually use something totally different, that actually works better than the mufflers, a conventional muffler from old school. This actually draws and helps pull the exhaust gas out, which gives us lower temperatures. With those lower temperatures we can tune better and make more power and torque as well. Then it goes 3.5 over the diff. Now the standard system over the diff is actually crushed down. It's only a 2.5-inch tailpipe, and it's crushed down where it comes through the back here past this rod. So the 2.5-inch system flattened out is ridiculous on the standard system. And then we go through to a Resonator. The Resonator's there is stock drone. Obviously such a big cabin, 7-seater. It can create a lot of drone if the exhaust is not set up properly. And then obviously we've got a 3.5 exit on the back here. We've also done an upgrade on the suspension. We've got a Lovells GVM upgrade. Our wheels are actually American Racing, and the tyres are LTZs, Coopers.